Hi, boys and girls. This is Ms. Kathy. I'm so happy you've joined me today for another story just for you. Baby in a basket. Joseph watched over his family in Egypt for as long as he lived, and the people of Israel, remember that was the name God gave Jacob, worked hard and had plenty of food. Their big families had many children until the land was full of them. But after Joseph died and the years went by, there was a new king Pharaoh in Egypt, one who didn't remember Joseph. He said to his officers, "The people of Israel are everywhere. There are too many of them. What if there is a war and they join the enemy and fight against us? They will be too strong for us to beat." So the Egyptians made life hard for the Hebrews, another name for the people of Israel. They took away their money and flocks and forced them to work all day at the hardest jobs. They made the people of Israel their slaves. But the Hebrew families just kept growing. There were more and more of them every year. Finally, Pharaoh said, "I know how to keep their families from growing. Throw every Hebrew baby boy into the Nile River." He sent soldiers to make sure that every Hebrew baby boy was killed. One family, Amram and Jochebed and their children, Aaron and Miriam, had a new baby. It was a boy, but they didn't obey Pharaoh and throw him into the river. They hid him in their home for 3 months. But the older the baby got, the more noise he made when he was hungry or unhappy. Finally, they couldn't hide him any longer. They took a basket and covered it with black tar. This kept the water out so the basket would float. Then they put the baby in the basket and set it floating in the tall reeds near the edge of the river. His sister Miriam stayed nearby to watch him. Before long, the king's daughter and her servant girls came down to the river to wash. The princess saw the basket in the reeds. "Go get that basket," she said to one of her servants. "I want to see what's in it." When they opened the basket, the baby started crying. The princess's heart melted. She felt so bad for the little boy. "The poor thing is scared and lonely and hungry," she said. "He must be one of the Hebrew babies." While the princess hugged the baby, Miriam came near and spoke. "Would you like me to find a Hebrew woman to take care of him for you?" she asked. "Yes," the princess decided. "Go and find a nurse for my baby." So Miriam ran and grabbed her mother. She quickly explained about the princess as they ran back to the river. The princess looked at Jochebed and said, "I will pay you to take care of this baby for me." So Jochebed took her baby home and raised him. She must have taught him everything she could about God and the people of Israel. When he was old enough, she took him back to the king's daughter. The princess adopted the boy as her own son and named him Moses. Moses' real mother and father had prayed that God would take care of their son, but they could never have imagined that God would make him one of the most powerful men in Egypt. When we ask God to take care of us, He will help us in ways we could never imagine.
The story you have heard today is from the Shoebox Kids Bible Stories, written by Jerry D. Thomas and used with permission from the Pacific Press Publishing Association. If you're interested in any other books published by the Seventh-day Adventist Church, please visit AdventistBookCenter.com or call 1-800-765-6955.
This podcast is a production of the Carolina Conference of the Seventh-day Adventist Church.